Good evening to the aspirants and the participants to my online class SLW 722. Anyone can unmute and read what I posted on the screen. Participants, anyone can unmute. I saw that James Masava is present, but I could not see his microphone. Please present and what is posted on the screen.
Welcome to the student of SLW 722, which of class on
Loud voice.
It says welcome to the student of SLW 722, which of class.
See the way you read, see the way I am reading here. Welcome to the students of the SLW 722 virtual class on the 5-5-2023 protection and promotion of the human rights in Tanzania. That is the way of reading. With a sonorous tone. It's not in a meow, 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 meow. Okay. The National Human Rights Action Plan, that is in parentheses NHRAP, is a first holistic plan and addressing the human rights in the history of the United Republic of Tanzania. It aims to strengthen the national system of human rights protection and promotion through the specific actions and activities. And the course coordinator is Sema. The course coordinator is unmute and say.
Yes, sir.
Unmute and say the course coordinator is. The course coordinator is.
The course code is 722.
I say coordinator, I did not say code number.
Can you
I
repeat?
did not say the course code number, I say coordinator who is teaching that course.
Professor Dr. Mohammed.
Yes, forget about it. Yes, now forget about it. So now let us see what is the institute summary is there. Mute. Yes, because I am getting the resound from your side. Because some disturbance would be there from your side. The United Republic of Tanzania National Human Rights Action Plan, within parentheses you can say NHRAP. We are just dealt before that what is the protection and promotion of the UN in the UN system, and now the regional, and I will coordinate with the Tanzania. Reflects the government commitment to the protection and promotion of the human rights. They made the action plan, and it is mandatory to all the states, those who are the members of the UNO, to prepare the action plan. NHRAP. What is NHRAP? Unmute and say. Participant. What is NHRAP? Unmute and say the full form. So that I could know that you are with me and I am with you. Both are sailing the same boat to reach to the destination.
National Human Rights Action Plan.
Very good. Mute it now. Because I am getting the resound. Something wrong with your system. Because when you are opening it, I am getting the resound. Either you use your earphone preferably. Otherwise, it's difficult for me. Okay, now let us see the NHRAP response to the recommendation of the 1993 Vienna Declaration and Program Action. So the Vienna Declaration 1993 says that every state who are the members of the UNO should have to prepare the action plan and how they are going to implement all the rules framed in the charter, which urged in all states to consider the development of the National Action Plan to promote and protection of the human rights. Its goals are to be strengthened the respect, protection, promotion, and fulfillment of the inalienable rights provided by the Constitution of the United Republic of Tanzania and the Constitution of Zanzibar also, and to guarantee the human rights according to international agreements entered into by the state. Now you tell me, the separate Zanzibar signed the agreement and separate Tanzania signed the agreement? Anyone can unmute and say.
Person?
Whether there is a two agreement signed by the Zanzibar one agreement and Tanganyika another agreement with the UNO?
Only Tanzania.
It is a combined
Right.
Tanzania signed the agreement, but in the both the constitution it should be domesticated, envisaged. What? Protection and promotion of the human rights. Is it clear? Say yes. Say yes. Sorry,
Yes,
forcefully making us to say yes. NHRAP, that is National Human Rights Action Plan, was developed through a consultative process began in October 2008. The Ministry of the Constitution and Legal Affairs. Who is the minister now taking care of the Ministry of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs at present? We can say
Damas in Dumbaru.
Dumbaro is my student in the PhD Open University of Tanzania.
Your connection issues. Hapa.
So,
Andawina.
yes, I'm getting the sound from you, Dambuka. So, along with the coordination committee comprised of the representative of the government and the Commission of the Human Rights and Good Governance, and there is another department, and the United Nations Academia and Civil Society from the Tanzania mainland and Zanzibar led the drafting process. So this action plan should be shown to the UNO, and to produce the draft NHRAP, the coordinated committee conducted a comprehensive evaluation of the human rights in Tanzania through extensive document review, public consultation, and field research. The evaluation provided the basis of the background report, which is the baseline assessment of the human rights situation in Tanzania. The findings and recommendations of the background report served as the basis for the NHRAP. To promote the public support for the document to solicit public input, the draft NHRAP was shared with the shareholders, not stakeholders, for their review and comments. These comments were incorporated in the draft before its submission to the cabinet for the approval. Once it is approved over there, then it also be sent to the UNO. The NHRAP recognizes the protection and promotion of the human rights is not limited to a single topic, because in each and every aspect there is a human rights. From womb to the tomb, or from cradle to the grave. Repeat, unmute and repeat what I said. Just before what I said, you repeat the wordings.
It is not clear here.
Why it is not clear? I repeat.
I don't see that.
I repeat. I did not mention there, but I am saying the human rights in all the fields and walk of life. From womb, W-O-M-B, womb, to tomb, T-O-M-B, tomb. and cradle, cradle, cradle to grave, grave. Repeat.
CR.
From the mother's womb, W-O-M-B,
To the
womb,
grave.
to the
To the
kaburi,
grave.
tomb,
Grave.
kaburi.
Kabul.
From
Yes.
Mama, Indani to kaburi,
Akakupa.
and Bimbia to graveyard.
Yes.
Say in English.
From the womb of the mother to the grave.
I said not grave. I say womb to the tomb.
Yes. Womb to
And,
the tomb.
and
The tomb.
see, womb to tomb. And
Womb.
cradle to grave. I did not write it because if I write it, you will be habituated and to see, sir, Andika. Repeat.
Mm-hmm. Cradle to grave.
Ninichu.
Womb to tomb.
So, in all spheres of life, human rights activity is there. Is it clear?
Yes, Prof.
The plan identifies 23 human rights issues. They made it 23 human rights issues arranged in 4 thematic headings, giving the principles for improving the coordination and protection through the Tanzania within civil and political rights. The NHRAP addressed the right to life, access to justice, fair trial and equality before the law, freedom of opinion, expression and information, freedom of assembly, and the right to liberty and security of persons within economic and social and cultural rights. The NHRAP addressed the right to property and access to land, the right to education, the right to adequate standard of living, including the right to food, the right to clean and safe water, the right to work, the right to highest attainable standard of physical and mental health, the right to live in a safe and clean environment, and the right to social security. The NHRAP also provides the protection for groups with special needs, including the women, children in conflict with the law, person with the disabilities, the elderly persons living with the HIV, refugees, asylum seekers, and stateless persons. Finally, the NHRAP addresses the institutional strengthening and the emerging issues, including the institutional strengthening of the CHRA, GG, and AGC, and the promotion and production of the human rights in the business. In the various fields, it touched over there. No field is left. That's why I told womb to the tomb and cradle to the grave. So NHRAP strengthens the human right based approach that is in existing national policies and strategies, including the Mukuta, Mukuja, MDGs, and Vision 225 5 years development plan spanning from the 2011 to 12, from the 2015 to 16, and even a current plan also. The existing action plan, other ministerial department agencies, MDA is there, NHREP should inform the activities and implementation efforts under these plans in order to maximize the impact of their efforts in the promoting the human rights. In addition to the present plan has identified additional and specific normatives, legislative, institutional, and educational measures which should be costed by the concerned MDAs and included the national budget processes. The NHREP calls upon the development partners to support the implementation efforts. That means the state is taking care of all the fields of where to protect and promote the human rights in different fields just now I narrated above. And furthermore, and these plans establish a comprehensive system for the implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. This system would facilitate not only the implementation of the present plan, but reporting the obligations of the human rights treaty bodies and universal periodic review also, and other international and regional systems, protocols, and deliberations. Along this plan, there will be a monitoring and evaluation framework. So they will make a matrices how far they achieved it and how far they are going to achieve. To coordinate and monitor here affects the NHREP was responsibility to the Commission for the Human Rights and Good Governance. So they are responsible to the Commission for the Human Rights and Good Governance, that is CHRAGG. It also envisages CHRAGG will establish a monitoring and evaluation committee to help the Commission in managing the activities relating to the action plan. Sir, how could we remember, sir, all those aspects where human rights protection and promotion would be there? Whatever that you remember it, you write it. And the rest of the other things, you can say that it will take care of from the womb to tomb and the cradle to the grave. Is it clear?
Yes, Prof, it is clear.
Among other things, the committee will prepare the progress report on the implementation process after the 3 years and final report after the 5 years. I told you in the beginning also. In the beginning, they have to make it out every year, but after 3 to 4 years later, only the once if they prepare it, that is enough. Of course, it is a clear-cut rule is there. To encourage the in transparency and objectivity in evaluating the implementation of the NHREP, civil society will be highly engaged in the monitoring process. Yes, whatever the report would be prepared by this committee or the National Human Rights Action Plan, it should be subjected to the stakeholders' criticism and their inputs also be taken. To promote an uninterrupted implementation, and NHREP established the guiding principles to overcome the potential problems and challenges. These principles include the effective partnership between the government and civil society. It is not only the government will take care of unto the protection and the promotion of the human rights, even the civil society, the media, the NGOs, individuals, good Samaritans, good people, citizens, they are to take part in it. These principles include the effective partnership between the government and civil societies, sufficient coordination and mutual support among the relevant actors, stakeholders, high-level political supports, and an adequate commitment of the resources, effective dissemination of the NHREP as a public document. Yes, it's the public domain, everything. It should be transparent. And the long-term efforts in the areas of education, training, and awareness raising, institutional strengthening, and institutional capacity building, and regular monitoring of process mechanism for the evaluation of the plan's achievements. So these are very good in the expression, in the writing, institutional strengthening, awareness rising, and institutional capacity building, and regular monitoring of progress, and mechanism of evaluation of the plans and achievement. For these all these activities, what is needed? For all this activity, what is needed? Sema, hela.
Pesa. Hela.
Amna pesa, amna any activity.
Yes.
So a budget should be clearly mentioned over there to undertake these activities. Otherwise, it will be restricted only in the prospectus, in the policies, in the plan, in the document. Is it clear?
Yes, Prof, it is clear.
Yes, it is a Tanzania role, how it would be there. The National Human Rights Action Plan, within parentheses, NHRAP, is the first holistic plan addressing human rights in the history of the United Republic of Tanzania. It aims to strengthen the national system of human rights protection and promotion through the specific actions and activities. And the concept of the National Human Rights Action Plan was developed as a part of the World Conference on Human Rights held in Vienna in 1993. So this concept is got its birth from the Vienna Convention. It is 1993 that all the states who are the party to the UNO should have to have the Human Rights Action Plan in their respective states. The conference adopted a document, the Vienna Declaration and Program Action, the VDPA, and Part 2, paragraph 71 recommended that they already mentioned the World Conference on the Human Rights recommends that such a state consider the desirability of the drawing up a national action plan, identifying steps where the state would improve the promotion and protection of the human rights. So areas would be made it very much clear, and where it is needed the protection and promotion of the human rights, and they want to make the action plan, and it is made in the Vienna Convention for all the states, those who are the party to the UNO. Following this recommendation, several states has developed and launched the national plan action for the promotion and protection of the human rights. Yes, the people, those who participated in the Vienna Conventions, and the people, those who are the parties to the UN and international organizations, and they made the initiatives and they made such a plans after the 1993. And in Tanzania, the lack of the homogeneous policy approach to the human rights was discussed in October 2008 during the national conference organized by the Common Government, the Commission for the Human Rights and Good Governance, that is the CHRAGG, and the UN chapter of Tanzania, sector of the Tanzania. The outcome of the conference was a series of the recommendation to further strengthen the promotion and production of the human rights in Tanzania. Because there are a lot of lacunas are there, only poor is becoming very poorer and rich is becoming very richer. And included in these recommendations was the development of the National Human Rights Action Plan by the government with the assistance of the CHRAGG. And what is CHRAGG? What is CHRAGG?
Serikali ya Jiji, City Council.
Commission for the Human Rights and Good Governance. That is CHRAGG. Repeat.
Commission for Human Rights and Good Governance.
Within parentheses, CHRA.
Yes, CHRA GG.
Yes, and this and the UN Tanzania and the civil society and the UN sector, UN of Tanzania and development partners and the stakeholders, NGOs and consequently a roadmap towards the development of the NHREAP was prepared and adopted in October 2009 at the National Consultative Workshop. Tanzania will make many workshops, many schemes, many things, but most of the thing lack of execution because of hela. Sema,
Because of hell.
a budget should be allocated for making these all the activities. So, national human rights context, the government of United Republic of Tanzania is committed to the protection and promotion of the human rights as defined by the Constitution of the United Republic of Tanzania of 1977, amended time to time, and the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights of 1948. And other regional and international instruments since the union between the Tanganyika and Zanzibar in the 1964, the United Republic of Tanzania has undertaken a significant initiative in the area of the protection and promotion of the human rights by ratifying and domesticating the various international and regional human rights instruments, repealing the unconstitutional laws. Yes, in the most of the places, the Tanzania is domesticated. Not only the Tanzania, many other countries, including India, also domesticated a lot of the international instruments, including the other treaties and protocols. Establishing the national institutions such as the Commission for the Human Rights and Good Governance, and implementing the legal sector reforms program, LSRP, also one of the sectors, and which will work on the legal sector for the reforms are concerned. Even the Tanganyika Law Society also provide for the any reforms are needed or the existing laws, or they may make the recommendations also. Am I right?
Yes, Prof.
Tanganyika Law Society also, they will make the recommendations to the government. The Ministry of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs, the objective of the reforms include a speedy disposal of the justice, affordability and access to the justice for all the social groups, integrity and professionalism of legal officers, and enhancement of the independence of judiciary. So, judiciary independence should be there, and there will be a separation of the powers, and no organ will be conflict with other organ. If any organ will make it out, then whether it is a constitutional based or unconstitutional will be decided by Sema president.
By the president.
It will not be decided by the president. If any act is constitutional or unconstitutional, decided by
the court.
Judiciary.
Judiciary, the court, yes, judiciary.
Yeah. Appropriate word should be used. The United Republic of Tanzania has signed and ratified the accession to the following international regional human rights instrument and has taken concerted steps towards the domesticating them. These treaties include, these are the bullet points which is there: International Covenant on the Economic and Social and Cultural Rights of 1966, International Covenant on the Civil and Political Right of 1966. Read the another bullet which I highlighted. Which I highlighted. Read the bullet.
International Covenant on Civil and Political.
Is it highlighted?
I don't see the highlighted one.
Read the highlighted one.
International Convention on the Elimination of all forms of racial discrimination of 1965.
Yes, who is the second participant? Read this one, second participant. James Masawe. When you read, I get the double sound. Yes, try to read what is highlighted there here.
Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women of 1979 and its optional protocol of 1999.
In the optional protocol, generally, even an individual can write to the treaty based, charter based organization regarding the violation of the human rights. And this bullet is Convention on the Rights of Person with Disabilities 2008 and its optional protocol of 2008. And United Nations Convention against the Transnational Organized Crime of 2003, and also Tanzania is a member and ratified the protocol to prevent, suppress and punish the trafficking in persons, especially women and children, supplementing the United Nations Convention against the Transnational Organized Crime of the 2000, and supplementary convention on the abolition of slavery, the slave trade, and the institution of the practices similar to the slavery in 1957, and the Convention on the Rights of the Child in 1989 and its optional protocol on the involvement of the children in the armed conflict of 2000 and on the sale of the children and child prostitution and child pornography of 2000. The International Labour Organization Fundamental Conventions and the Conventions Against the Discrimination in the Education of the 1960, and the Convention relating the Statutes of the Refugees of 1950, and Convention of the Prevention and the Punishment of the Crime of Genocide of 1948, Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court of 1998, and the 4 Geneva Convention of 1949, as well as the protocols of 1 and 2 of the 1949 to the Geneva Conventions. Then the African Charter on the Women's and People's Rights of 1981. Where is this quote? African Charter of the Women and People's Rights Violation Court. Ukawapi. I repeat, African Charter on the Women's and People's Rights 1981. If anybody's rights are violated in the African regional area, where we can file a case?
In Addis Ababa.
That is the UNO headquarters. But a regional center is Arusha.
Yes, Arusha, yes, Arusha.
Even a genocide, Rwanda genocide also in Arusha. East African Court of Justice also in Arusha.
ICTR.
Yes. Conventions governing the specific aspect of refugees problems in Africa 1969, and the protocol of the African Charter of the Human Rights on the rights of the women in Africa in 2003, and protocol to the African Charter of the Human Rights, People Rights in the establishment of the African Court in the Human Rights and People Rights in 1998, and African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child of the 1990, that is called CRC, and the African Youth Charter of the 2006. So these are all the charters are there where the Tanzania is a state and which is signed and ratified and domesticated in their domestic municipal legislation. So since endorsing the United Nations Millennium Declaration of the 2000, Tanzania has taken steps to mainstream human rights in the national strategy for the growth and the reduction of the poverty, NSGRP, popularly known its Kiswahili acronym Mukukuta. What is that?
Mukukuta.
in mainland Tanzania and Mukuza in the Zanzibar, and to align them with the long-term strategies such as the National Development Vision in 2025 for the mainland of Tanzania and a vision of the 2020 for the Zanzibar, to ensure that measures are sustainable to promote the further development in the NHREP. For the reduction of the poverty, those are plans are there. NHREP seeks to strengthen the development strategies and highlighting cross-cutting principles like accountability. The phraseology is very much impressive. The used NHRP seeks to strengthen the development strategies and highlighting the cross-cutting principles. See, cross-cutting principles like accountability, equality, and non-discrimination, empowerment, and meaningful participation in all stages of their implementation. So they are taking a lot of strategies to maintain, to eradicate the poverty. I don't know how the poverty is reduced by this time in Tanzania. So here they have given the Convention on Freedom of Association and Protection of Right to Organize, the Convention 1948, and the Right to Organize, the Collective Bargaining Convention 1949, and Forced Labor Convention 1930, Abolition of the Forced Labor Convention 1957, Minimum Age Convention 1973, World's Worst Form of Child Labor Convention 1999, Equal Remuneration Convention 1951, and Discrimination in Employment of the Occupation Convention 1958. Sir, can we remember the year? Impossible. At least write the main conventions where the Tanzania is a party to it. There are several conventions are there, treaties are there, and we cannot remember all of them, including myself. At least cover, suppose you 20 read it, you make at least 7 to 8. At least, then I'm sure that you did your work in a better manner. So that is the way that you have to make it out. And let us see, I will share this file to you in today to your email, and you can read it. What are the action plans are there and how it can be. Suppose a question is asked, what is the role of Tanzania in protection and promotion of the human rights? Then you just touch some points there, here and there, and enough, depending upon the marks awarded for the question. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, it is. Yes, Prof, it is clear.
Yeah, cut your coat according to the cloth. Repeat. Cut your coat according to the cloth.
A coat according to the cloth.
What it means? If the cloth is makubwa, a kubwa koti, a cloth is madogo, dogo koti. Sawa?
Sawa, yes.
If the cloth is big, you can make a trouser. If the cloth is kati, you can make the kapchura.
of time working on social media for my clients. I create a lot of video content